And listen to me, I'm sick of it. I'm taking the gloves off. You quit preaching heresy that Jesus is not supposed to be named Jesus. Let me tell you something. He didn't do the Lord's Supper the way. No, you're wrong on the Lord's Supper, and you're also letting the whole world go to hell. You're a doo-doo head. Correct me if I'm wrong, did you get a call this afternoon? And listen to me, I'm sick of it. I'm taking the gloves off. And you know, I'm sick of all these little baby Christians that they're like, oh, let's stop fighting. There's a reason why this world's going to hell. I'm saying a lot of these pastors are not even saved. And they've been planted there by the devil. These demonic deacons and demonic pastors and demonic evangelists and demonic missionaries have been put behind the pulpit to pervert. You're a doo-doo head. And listen to me, I'm sick of it. I'm taking the gloves off. Pervert the gospel, pervert doctrine. I believe he's not a pastor, he's a demon. Otherwise, how do you explain it? Riddle me this. Here's the proof. Here's the evidence. You know, I'm not going to let this country be taken over by these bunch of phony doo-doo heads. Fools, half their congregation doo-doo heads. There's something weird going on in our country. Why don't you come up to me after you? Why don't you come up to me after? I'm sick of it. Riddle me this. They love their own little religion that they've created. Riddle me this. Birds of a feather flock together. Riddle me this. I would rather go to hell. Worthless, Christians. And you know what? Christians, worthless Christians. Idiot! The devil ain't there.
High-ranked district, here he goes, crossing himself. Oh! He's done.
Riddle me this, gang. Riddle me this. Welcome to another edition of the Pocket Locker Podcast. I am your host with the most, all the way from the East Coast, and as always, good people, I am in airplane mode. Now, gang, of course, we are still mid-move. I think my moving date is going to actually be next Friday, so a week from tomorrow, I guess. And it's going to be fucked up now because everything's in boxes and the studio is all packed away mostly. And it's just everything's all over the place. But look, we are going to go ahead and jump on into today's program. I hope y'all are having a great day. Let's go ahead and jump into things with our communion. Cool. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and jump into our communion. Y'all already know what to do. Oh, hang on a sec. Look at you. Sam, get your monkey ass up in your chair, bud. All right, gang. Cheers. Let's go ahead and get into our communion. Please raise your glasses and hold on to your asses. Gang, I'm fucking up. I didn't do the chant. I don't know the fuck. Raise your glasses. Hold on. We know how to do this. First take only, motherfuckers. Through him, with him, in the unity of the flying man. All glory and honor is yours who fled for our sins forever and ever. You may drink. Oh, good job, alcohol. Do I have bells? Are my bells here? Thanks to YouTube Punk in the Prop Master department for not packing up my bells while I still need them. Gang, let's go ahead and jump into our communion song. What order are we gonna do? First, let's try this OG, right? Let's see what's up.
Whoa. Is that? Hey, what up?
They know my campaign.
Now they running up on Roddy like it's second place. They wanna know if I'm a prop or I'm the real plane. Landed in Austin and I even brought my own strain.
Gang.
Yeah, fuck is they talking about? Link up with Freddie, got it booming cause it's Mo South. Then we hit the spot, my OG had it packed out. Getting love in every city, what it's all about. Facts, yeah, know when I'm back home. At the blueprint eating chicken with some bad Johns. And they bad, but not like the one that's at home. And she bad, but not like them kids we have, Lord, yeah. I'm still up in my mode. Hit my connect, he make the close, I run the give and go. Just ask the ones who fucking with me if you didn't know. They say the plane was always on it and he always gone. I love you, I want to. You're the one that I live for. I can't take it anymore. But I love you, I need you. What can I do to make you see? You're the only one for me. I told Jay I'ma just stick to the code. He wished me well and told me how he been noticing growth. Told all my niggas down on Serato, let's get this dough. Figure of speech, I'm just saying my niggas gotta glow. Yeah, I thought I changed up, but in fact I just got better at the same stuff. Even when I was a minor, I was major. Independent, I remember how they played us. Yeah, you see it's funny though. See how everything changed, getting money, bro. Seen them even throwing shade when it's sunny though. On the plane, I ain't even in a lane though. Yeah, but I still be on the road. Head to toe on all my merch.
Alright, I got Crystal first and Treen second. UC Love third. Appreciate that.
Never know. I love you, I want you.
I got Randy in the chat and Unbelievers. Patrick Deskus here.
I can't take it anymore, but I love you.
It's good to see everybody.
I need you. What can I do to make you see? You're the only one for me. I love you, I miss you, I need you in my life. Can't you see what you mean to me? Baby, come hold me tight. I miss you, wanna kiss you every time I see your face. Can't you see that?
All right, gang, and we're gonna do a double communion song today. This one is our community's theme song. It's called Where Everybody Knows Your Name. This cover is by Foy Vance.
And he's going to play us out. Foy, you're going to play what to finish us up?
Do you know what? I don't know the name of this song actually, but I know the song, and so will you.
Oh, I look forward to this. Foy Vance, take it away.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Well, all those nights when you got no lights and the check is in the mail, and your little angel on the countered by its tail. Your third fiancé didn't show. Well, sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and you're always glad they came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Well, you get out of bed and the coffee's dead. The morning isn't looking bright. You shrink right off to Europe and he doesn't even write. Your girlfriend says she's not a girl. Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Boy, Vance. Most common word coming in by text, boy, is goosebumps. Believe it or not, we've had that repeatedly across the whole series. If you want to see Foy Vance's cheeky grin when he sang the line, when you find your girlfriend is a guy, you can go on the website. We'll upload a video of Foy singing that. If you want to see him live, 6th of December in Roisin in Galway, 7th of December in Whelan's in Dublin, and the new album is Joy of Nothing. Foy, thank you again.
Thank you, man.
All right, gang. All right, so let's jump straight into this. Before we get started, I just want to say Happy Pride Month to all of my LGBTQ friends, the entire queer community. Like, I feel like I've learned a tremendous amount over the last year, thinking back to the last time we celebrated Pride Month. And the difference is just having a fucking whole bunch of friends that are queer, trans, or, part of that community and the way they've enriched my life. Not just in terms of becoming a lot more educated on this issue, but just having tremendous, fabulous, intelligent, beautiful people in my life that are actually great human beings that I can fucking rely on to help out and keep me straight and to, just be some of the bedrock personalities in our community. So it's just been really, really grateful. I hope that y'all feel loved and celebrated. And fuck it, let's make it feel special. Let's have some fun with it. Let's celebrate. It's that time of the year. Hopefully there'll be a lot of beautiful weather this month for people to get out and have celebrations in their community. And we'll definitely have our own celebrations and stuff going on and gather and on the channel. So with that, folks, let's just jump straight into the main event of the evening. And unfortunately, as y'all already knew, the Christians, they're also paying attention to the calendar. Apparently they can read. Apparently they can read. They can read a calendar. Check. And you've been hearing sort of the war on woke ramp up as Pride Month approached. And now that we're here, of course, it is time for the yearly hissy fit from the conservatives. And as much as I've honestly, gang, just lost interest in Rebekah Davis because she's just an uninteresting person. Like, to be clear, my initial interest in Rebekah, like from Bread of Life, was that she was like participating in these sort of atheist spaces in a way that I thought was, you know, I was like new to the game, right? And so I was like, man, isn't that great? Because I know, you know, it seems like so few Christians are participating in our channels or will come and have discussions with us. And so I kind of just bought into, you know, maybe, you know, there was a journey to pay attention to, right? Like maybe this was a person genuinely wrestling with these issues, befriending atheists, trying to figure it all out. That's just not it. Like, you know, I came to later realize that she had her own channel, that, you know, her channel, while she claims to be about evangelism, is really just an apologetics channel. She actually has a master's degree in apologetics. Then I found out that she has a second channel. It used to be called Examining Evolution. Now it's called Examining Origins, I think. And it's all just pseudoscience bunk and fucking nonsense. She literally actively seeks out coaching from Sal Cordova, who is a totally discredited anti-science propagandist who she's very well aware is completely unqualified and wrong about all of the bullshit. And then she's had like so many opportunities to have conversations with people like me, people like Gustick Gibbon, Erica, think Dr. Dan, like a bunch of people have really tried to, you know, actually have good faith conversations with her about science or evolution, and also the impact of her content, like how disrespectful it is to our work. I explained this to her on air. Like I remember she was like the first person we had on Hot Program. We had a really nice conversation with her over there. And then, you know, I sat her down. I was like, look, you know, this anti-science content you do is really disrespectful personally to the work of people. Like, not a lot of people have people totally act like their work doesn't exist. And I explained to her that that's dehumanizing. Literally, the example I use is I would always say, what's wrong with calling me a nigger? Like, think about it. I'm not trying to sound like a right winger, but literally, like, why is it wrong to call black people niggers? It isn't just because it's some fucking magic word, right? That, you know, there's laws against certain words, and you can't say those words, or else you'll get canceled by the word. No, it's very simple. That word has a history of fucking dehumanizing people. So unless you're a part of the in-group that has, you know, tried to reclaim it and uses it to our own ends, you can't say that shit. But you can't say it because it's dehumanizing. The dehumanization is the problem, right? And what I explained to her is there are more than one way to dehumanize a person, right? Calling me an N-word, yeah, that's pretty dehumanizing because, like I said, that's what that word has a history of being used to do. But acting like my work isn't real? Yeah, that's fucking dehumanizing as shit. Yeah, to be like, oh yeah, all that shit you spent 10 years in grad school for, and all that blood, sweat, and tears, and the fucking long nights, and the stress, and the teaching, and all of the fucking classes, and all of the fucking papers you were going through, and all the fucking evidence, and then you having to get your shit through fucking review and all that. None of that. No, that was what? That was just basically like you participating in some religion. Like, I mean, like, y'all. So, you know. There was a time, you know, it just, you know, it just is what it is. She's just a grifter. So I've been down that road with her. And then she went away for a while, and a lot of us kind of celebrated. Ding dong, the witch is dead. You know, it was an opportunity to like, oh yeah, all right, well maybe some of us had a little bit of influence in the fact that there's now at least one less active narcissistic apologist making fucking content on the interwebs. But you know, as y'all know, you know, she was always moonlighting as an evangelical Uber driver. Can y'all imagine being proselytized to by your goddamn Uber driver? Is that, I mean, how awful is that? How awful is that? Amoxicillin, I appreciate the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you. Then she like progressed to, I think, evangelizing at the mall, and then found that to completely be a failed effort, and so then came back to YouTube. And so at first I was like real salty about that, so I was like determined to like rip apart everything she does, but it just got very boring really quick. So, you know, whatever. But somebody sent me the stream she did today about Christians can celebrate Pride Month without celebrating sin. And so I was like, y'all, I'm about to be instant triggered. Moving is stressful as shit. I really just need to link up with the gang to help get through these fucking long ass days and long ass nights involved in moving. Oh, 2 feet of love. Appreciate the that's UC love. Appreciate the Twitch follow. Y'all follow up on Twitch, man. Y'all know we getting, you know, we started from Twitch. We got a lot of love for Twitch. I know a lot of y'all are on YouTube, but you know, we're live on Twitch too. Facebook and Twitter as well. All right. So yeah, like it's this really bothers me. I find this whole thing really infuriating. And I was like, fuck it. If I'm gonna watch this and see what the fuck she's talking about, let's do a stream and react to it. But gang, we're just gonna react straight up to the title here, which is, like I said, and y'all see it, of course, but it's again, Christians can celebrate Pride Month without celebrating sin. Let's just start with the Christians go fuck yourselves. And the title of today's stream is Christians should reflect and be ashamed during Pride Month. I just want to lay out a couple of things up front. Number one, from my perspective, Christians are responsible, at least in the context of the discrimination against the queer community that we see in America. It's largely done by Christians. Again, like Uncle Bobby says, y'all cannot, you know, own the joint, set the table, decide what the fuck everybody has to have shoved down their throat, and then not be held responsible for the effect on our health and the way that shit tasted on the way down. If y'all want to run this joint, you are going to take responsibility for its fucking management. The only fucking reason we have a goddamn Pride Month is because we have to let the queer fam and the LGBT community know that we are fucking with you from the beginning until the end. We are fucking with you in spite of the fucking noise you hear coming from these goddamn Christians. So don't y'all dare have the audacity to fix your fucking face, to look us in the mouth and tell us y'all are about to celebrate Pride Month. Y'all better go somewhere else and find one of them nice, softy little fucking atheists that wants to play the fucking politics and civility game with your broke ass. I am not having that shit. Don't bring that shit around here. I'm gonna tell you, you don't got, Christian, you ain't got shit to celebrate during Pride Month. Y'all need to take a good look in the mirror and recognize you are staring the fucking problem in the face. And yes, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Point number one is Christianity is the goddamn problem to begin with. All the fucking persecution that happens to the queer community in this fucking country, not only is it done by Christians, they make sure to tell us their Bible commands to do it in the name of Jesus. Don't you have the fucking audacity to come up in here gaslighting us during Pride Month? We are going to shut that shit down on June 1st every goddamn year. You need to look in the fucking mirror, do some reflecting, and feel some goddamn shame for participating in this shit. You are part of a hate group. We have a Pride Month because we have to fight back against the toxic effect of your fucking hate group on society, and more importantly, on the fucking lives of the community of the people you fucking oppress with your made up bullshit. Now, that brings me right on to fucking point number two. And I want to be very clear about this. One of my greatest personal moral failures as a human being is not leaving Christianity because it is bigoted against queer people and the LGBTQ fam, period, end of story. That's it. Do not lose sight of how central that point is to me throughout this evening's festivities. I am saying to you, you can set everything you have learned about counter apologetics aside because it really should not fucking matter. You should set all you have fucking learned about theology and Christian community and hope, meaning, or I don't give a shit. When you wake up in the morning and you find that you are part of a fucking hate group against a marginalized population, the last day you were part of that group needs to be yesterday. The only proper way to participate in a hate group is to be leaving the motherfucking hate group. It is not okay to be a Christian simply because of its hatred of the queer community, period, end of story. That's it. That's it. You don't need more reasons. You do you hear me? You do not need more fucking reasons. Do y'all hear what the fuck I'm trying to say to you? Gang, if somebody walks up to you and they say, "Hi, I'm part of the Ku Klux Klan," right? What the fuck do you say? Do you say, "Well, does it give you a sense of hope, meaning, and purpose? Does it promise you everlasting life with the Savior?" No. Nobody gives a shit. The KKK is racist. Since the KKK is racist, you need to leave the KKK immediately. Period of the story. There's nothing else to fucking talk about. Gang, I could make this fucking channel very effective at ending fucking Christianity and fucking dealing with this issue, but the channel would become very boring. But it would still be a fantastic point to just every fucking day to be like, hi, today's fucking Tuesday, and it's another reminder that Christians are bigoted against the queer community, and if you're a Christian, you're part of a fucking hate group, and you need to leave that hate group immediately. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I don't care what Jesus promised you. I don't care how disappointed your mother would be. I don't care about your sweet aunt. I don't care about all the church did for you. I don't care about your fucking Sunday school. I don't give a shit about any of that. You are part of a fucking hate group, and the only appropriate response is to fucking leave. So do not fix your fucking face to celebrate Pride Month. Do not do it. Don't you dare. Fucking ridiculous. Now let's see what this, let's go. Y'all already know. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be awful.
It is LGBTQ Pride Month. So, should Christians celebrate Pride Month? And if so, why? Well, I think they should. And in this video, I just want to talk about why I think they should, even if you're a Christian who is non-affirming.
If you are a Christian who is not affirming, the only thing for you to do is sit on it and rotate. Literally, go fuck yourselves. I am so sick of this shit. Why the fuck do we have to fucking be permissive of these motherfucking people's bigotry simply because of their make-believe? This is ridiculous. No, gang, y'all don't know, man. Like, I'm just realizing, like, we're out here for a reason, and part of that reason, y'all, has to be growth. I'm trying to get practiced at this. I'm trying to sharpen my shit. I am trying to get better about being very clear about exactly what the motherfucking problem is with Christianity, because I am sick of this shit. Y'all know I am not fucking around with these Christians anymore. I don't care. I just don't, I don't care. Why do we have to protect the egos of these motherfucking children? It's time for them to grow the fuck up. If you are a non-affirming, they say that shit like they have a fucking choice. If you do not affirm people in their fucking sexual orientation or their identity or any of that shit, you are an asshole. You're an asshole. You're a bad person. You're being terrible, and it's hatred. It's hatred, Christians. You can't just wrap it in some bullshit wrapping paper, stamp the word love all over it, and abracadabra, because the rest of us don't believe in magic anyway. You're just awful people. And now you're gonna sit here and listen to fucking Rebekah and let you feel like your shit's okay? Awful, awful. Anybody that's a Christian that buys into this shit, I strongly suspect you do not have really close relationships with people in the LGBT community. I strongly suspect you do not have real relationships with people.
So within Christianity, there's a spectrum of ideas about how people should live.
Yeah, and they're all stupid.
Ideas, from going from affirming, which affirming Christians would say that it's not a sin to be gay, it's not a sin to be trans, and then you've got non-affirming Christians.
Yeah, affirming Christians, y'all need to be busy as shit this month. Y'all need to be busy as shit this month. Man, I'm telling you, if you consider yourself an affirming or liberal Christian, you are on fucking exam this month. It is time for your final to see if you will pass this fucking course. Because you need to be out in the streets on the name of Jesus, combating the sin of the bigots within your church. How many of the affirming Christians are silent on Sunday morning when these people are spewing their nonsense? I don't really see affirming Christians pushing back against non-affirming Christians. They're beating their chest about how affirming and what allies they are and how great they are when they're in our circles, and them crazy folks ain't around. But then when they go around there and they all sheepish and ain't got shit to say. affirming Christians. It's some fucking nonsense right there, yo. Out of here with that shit.
Christians who would say, well, hey,
Lena,
I will still love the gay person and love the trans person, but it's a sin to be gay or trans. So in this stream, I want to talk about, even if you are a non-affirming Christian, why you can and should still celebrate Pride Month.
Anybody out there that's, if you're affected by this, if you're part of the community, if you want to come on and talk a little bit about this with me, you're more than welcome to.
And so I think the first reason is that all over the world, there are people who are being oppressed for being gay and being trans. There's lots of countries in the world where people can go to prison for life or be killed just for being queer. And so I think as Christians, we should celebrate the freedom from oppression. If that exists in your country, we should celebrate freedom from oppression for gay, trans, queer people. And we should be standing with those who are oppressed. So let me give you some scripture to back that up.
This is some fucking horseshit bullshit. Cut the fucking cord. Now, of course, we about to get a fucking verses from that raggedy book from this raggedy bitch. Y'all already know. But you can hear the baked in talking points. Oh, it's about celebrating their freedom from oppression. From who? Freedom from oppression from who? It's freedom from oppression from you. You do not get to start a fucking fire and then get celebrated because you show up with the goddamn hose. Again, y'all need to can that bullshit. Because here's what this is really about. This is really about them getting to feel good about their faith. It is about taking attention away from the impacted community and putting it right square on them. Look at us. We're the good Christians. Now let us tell you some more about our good Christ. Fuck that shit. The only thing y'all need to be doing is going and finding those non-affirming Christians and whooping their ass like they're whooping the ass of the queer community. Until you will call off your own goddamn dogs, you do not get to play part of the fucking parade. Get the fuck out of here. Freedom from oppression. When you're part of the goddamn oppressors. No. You don't do that. The fuck out of here.
Jesus came, he read from this passage about his...
And also you don't get to stand with them. You don't get to stand with them. I'm sorry. Some of y'all, I know some of y'all, look, we all have different opinions, and y'all know I'm open to feedback, but look, I don't think they've earned the right. I don't think they've earned the right, and I don't think you can trust them. If Christians want to come alongside us in harmony and hold hands and walk forward in love and equity and equality and empowerment, more than that, we don't even need equality. We need empowerment. Empowerment's the only thing that will be equitable. Y'all got me feeling deep as shit today. Gang, listen up. Listen. We can't just fucking treat the LGBT community fairly. That doesn't work. We can't treat them fairly. We can't just treat them the same as we can't just be like, oh, from now on, the rules are going to be fair for everybody. We're going to treat everyone the same. And so now you guys get just as the opportunity as everybody else. No. We've been beating these people down since the beginning. We've been fucking these people shit up. So when they start way the fuck back there. Way the fuck down there. So the only thing that's equitable is to do some goddamn work to pull them the fuck up to where everybody else is. That's how you do equity. The race isn't fair if you get to start a mile behind me and I'm 40 yards from the fucking finish line. Nah, y'all can't have this one.
Mission. And I think this is the mission of all Christians. It says in Isaiah 61, the Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. So this is what we are doing as Christians. We are bringing good news to the poor.
No. Again, let's go. See, this is where we got to get back to how these things play out on the ground with the actuals and the factuals. If you want to hold hands and walk in harmony during the fucking Pride Parade because we are celebrating the empowerment of that community, then what you're not going to be doing is yapping your fucking gums about Jesus. Number one, I am trying to fight for the equality of, identities that I'm associated with. So I have no idea what it's like to be part of the LGBT community. Other than what I've learned as someone who's trying to be called an ally, because I want those people to know I'm trying to be on their side so they can let me know what they need from me. Okay? And what I don't know, but I do know what it's like to be fucking black, okay? And that shit sucks. And one of the things that I try to get people to understand is you cannot build on bullshit. You can't build on bullshit. That's why Christianity don't work. You cannot empower people by giving them fucking hocus pocus. What are they gonna fucking turn hocus pocus into? More fucking hocus pocus and nonsense. So no, I don't want your fucking scary asses at the Pride Parade. The last thing I want people doing during Pride Month is celebrating their fucking pride, celebrating themselves, getting fucking messages from liberal ass fucked up Christians, and then deciding that they need Jesus to really make their shit go boom boom. Fuck out of here. That's the worst. That shit ain't real. You can't say, oh, I want to help you, and then lead somebody into fucking darkness. That's terrible. Also, where are you leading them to? You are literally leading them, to the fucked up ass Christians who are gonna flip through that book from the verse that tells them that for man to lie with man it is abomination, and know what part of the LGB, the T, the G, the Q, any of that a person actually is. They're gonna use verses like that to tell that person that they're all sorts of fucked up. And at best, if they're fucking uber lucky, they get some fuckface like Rebekah, who won't tell them that they deserve to burn in hell, except she will, because she thinks they do. But to her, it's all sin, and she's got sin too, and so it's all good because you've got your sin, I've got my sin, I'm not gonna oppress you, but you are a filthy fucking sinner. And no, I don't want my people with that shit. I don't want that. So to the extent that y'all want to come and participate in this month's festivities, you need to leave that Jesus shit at the fucking door. At the fucking door. Because there's no place in this for that. There's no place in this for that. If you turn this into an evangelism opportunity, you're just a selfish fucking prick. Sick and tired of these fuckheads making every goddamn thing about Jesus. Leave that bullshit out the door. Fam, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but look, if I'm doing security, they are not allowed in the Pride cookout. Now, Steph or Lena or Bree or one of my great friends might tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, JJ, you gotta let them in. Like they're all right, they're good to go. Like all right." But until further notice, nah, I don't think y'all are automatic go for the cookout. I don't think so.
Poor. We are binding up.
We trying to have a good time.
And there are people who are being oppressed, and we should stand with those who are oppressed. We should care about those who are oppressed. Should someone have to spend life in
talking about
prison
Carrie Ann?
For engaging in a sexual act? Should they be stoned? Should they be given a death sentence? So we should celebrate the freedom from oppression that exists for gay and trans people in countries where they are free to celebrate. And then it's also a stand of solidarity with those who are oppressed. So it's a way of...
Gang, I'm in a good place right now. I'm realizing that, like, if it was Black History Month and I tried to sit here and list all the Black people I know, it'd be real fucked up. But I'm literally like, I'm getting to a place where, like, I have a whole bunch of trans friends. I love trans friends, queer friends, people affected by this, asexual friends, aromantic friends, people that are just in the flag. They're just part of gang. All right, check it. This is how I think it is. This whole movement is a correction. This whole movement is about getting us to accept and celebrate what our nature really truly is. And it's really helping us recognize that we've essentialized our identities in ways that are just false. They're not accurate. They don't really reflect what humanity's about. And I hear this talked about so often with, to me, evolutionary biologists who are like really a little too serious sometimes about the philosophical implications of evolutionary theory, right? But one of the main points we always try to bring to people is it's not about essentializing. It's not about characteristics that you check off with the box. Really understanding what a population is, what a species is, what an organism is. It's all about variation. And so if you want to think about it, even like what would that mean, like numerically or empirically? It means you pay attention to the range, pay attention to the spectrum, pay attention to the distribution. You don't just pay attention to the mean. You don't just put a number on shit. And that's, to me, what this movement is about. So where am I going with that? It's like, that's, to me, what this whole community is about, is it shouldn't be easy to put all of the people affected by this community into this box or that box, because people don't belong there anyway. This is the time to celebrate that the differences are the fucking essence. That is our nature. Our nature is the fucking variation. Our nature is that we ain't all the fucking same. So it's just awesome. And I just feel really lucky that I feel like somebody at a party where you're like, I don't want to start naming names, because if I start naming names, I'm gonna forget somebody. So if I name you, it's incidental. If I don't name you, I love you to death, and I'm just trying not to name everybody. But that's what we should all be aiming for. Like when somebody comes up to me and be like, who do you know affected by this? Who in your crew? I'll be like, dog, I can't, look, the whole crew. This is my whole crew. Everybody is affected, but I'll give you a shorter list of the people who are not affected. But that's what's up, man. I'm in a very lucky place, man. Very lucky place, man. My non-binary peeps, hell yeah.
You don't deserve to be hated. You don't deserve to be killed. You don't deserve
Tell that to your fucking God,
treated
then.
with disdain. And so even if you're a non-affirming Christian, just standing and celebrating Pride Month is a way of saying no to hatred. It's a way of saying no to disdain. You know, unfortunately, there are some Christian churches who have been horrible, really horrible toward gay and trans people. They have just treated them with disdain. And celebrating Pride Month is a way of saying, absolutely not. We are against that as Christians. We are against treating people that way. We love you. We receive you. We welcome you. And so we can celebrate also the fact that people are free to not hide.
Yeah, that's what she thinks. She's just lying. This is whitewashing. Whitewashing in action.
Celebrating Pride Month as a Christian is, and if you're a pastor too, is a way of making it okay for people to talk about these things at church. You know, there are too many gay Christians in church who are afraid to say they're gay. They're afraid to talk about this. They face rejection. They face isolation. And
gang, we're gonna have to let her roll through this. Tay, I don't know how much of this we're gonna make it through. This is just so terrible. But like, of course they are. And gang, do not let this fool you. This is definitely whitewashing, but it doesn't even work. It's like she wants to pretend that well, Christians, you really just want to stand with our gay community, and then she wants to call people out to their own fucking demise. She knows why Christians oppress the queer community, but she doesn't care because it's all about fucking doing PR and marketing for Jesus. She's just a nasty door-to-door salesman. And it's why you have to get a little dirty with these people, gang. You can't keep things above board with people like this because they manipulate the civility. That's all this is. That's all. It's putting a happy face and a smile so that she can then later tell you, well, I don't hate you because you're gay, but you are a filthy fucking sinner. And it's just sin. It's the sin I don't like. I don't like your sin, and I need you to change your lifestyle. But then I'm gonna fucking turn around and celebrate Pride Month. Why? To make Rebekah feel good about trying to make Jesus look good, knowing his goddamn cult is the goddamn problem. Rebekah, if you want to celebrate Pride Month, stop being a fucking Christian. This is cowardless. This is just cowardly, spineless bullshit.
So celebrating Pride Month is a way of us saying
lying.
We can talk about these
It's a way
things.
of gaslighting an entire population because you just don't give a shit.
You can still make your church a safe place for people to talk about what they're going through. And by the way, I do think
gang,
there are...
a safe place is where there aren't any fucking Christians. Please, Christians, do not ruin the goddamn Pride Parade. Oh my God, we need a fucking volunteer fucking army of fucking hetero people to just line the fucking outside perimeters and keep the Christians away from the goddamn celebrations. Can these people just walk down the street with each other, dancing, have a little bit of a parade, have a couple of cookouts, have some goddamn parties without the goddamn evangelist ruining fucking everything?
Reasons to become affirming. I don't think the Bible has anything to say about being trans.
Good. So then let's not talk about God. Let's just give God. Let's just
be compassionate.
Can we just give it a rest?
People's experience. Consider carefully your reasons for not affirming trans people. And then when it comes to homosexuality, I realize it's a little bit more difficult because
Muslims are awful.
The Bible does have some things to say about homosexuality. But, if you are willing to consider the experience of gay people, you may shift your position. And if you're willing to dive in and really pay attention to what the scripture is saying. So, but this stream isn't about trying to convince people from going
She
from
knows what the
non-affirming
scripture
to affirming,
says, y'all.
but it's really for just saying, even if you're a non-affirming Christian.
And again, go fuck yourselves. Go fuck. Did you hear what just came out of her goddamn mouth? That is the fucking problem. What an awful piece of shit. Rebekah, you're a terrible human being. You need to look in the mirror. You need to do some reflecting. You need to feel some motherfucking shame. What a shit thing to say. I'm not here to make you go from non-affirming to affirming. I'm just here to lick your booty hole, even if you're a fucking fascist. Even if you're not affirming, I'm just here to tell you to get your pride on anyway. Get the fuck out of here. You show up at a goddamn pride parade or a pride celebration, a fucking pride dinner, a fucking pride live stream, a fucking pride video, and you leave something in the comment section talking about, hi, I'm a non-affirming Christian, but I'm here to celebrate pride. And man, I hope they sick the fucking dogs on your monkey ass.
There are some good reasons to celebrate Pride Month.
What's up,
Now,
Beck?
some Christians may be reluctant to do that because they're afraid
Steph,
that
what's
they
up,
will
Carrie?
be endorsing sexual immorality and promiscuity that sometimes comes along with gay pride celebrations. And I've never been to a gay pride parade or anything like that, but of course, I've seen clips and things of people encouraging promiscuous behavior. And so, you know, as Christians, we don't want to do that. Even as an affirming Christian, we don't endorse sexually promiscuous behavior.
Exactly, and that's why your monkey asses aren't invited to the goddamn party. What seems to be the fucking problem? What seems to be the problem? And this is why you do not let Christians anywhere near your fucking cherished spaces, y'all. Because, oh, sorry, gang, I just happen to be a non-affirming Christian, but I'm here to get, I just want to be here to stand with you guys. What the fuck does that even mean? Oh, but by the way, whoa, I'm seeing a little bit too much skin over here. Whoa, are you smoking joints over there? You can't do that. Whoa, put down that drink. Whoa, are those people screwing up Mary? And there's 4 of them? What? Y'all are not invited to the fucking cookout. Y'all are not invited to the cookout. Oh my goodness.
So some Christians may be reluctant to celebrate Pride Month because they may be afraid that they'll be lumped in with, you know, like endorsing sexual immorality. But was Jesus worried about that? So when I think about Jesus's interactions with people, think about how it looked for Jesus to meet the woman at the well. That wasn't even really appropriate for him to be talking with the woman at the well. And Jesus wasn't embarrassed, even though she was sexually promiscuous. Jesus said,
gang, and this is where, of course, this is why I lose interest in Rebekah. She's just honestly too easy. And they just start telling on themselves. And this is where you have to recognize the bigotry, y'all. Even when a Christian is affirming, even when a Christian says that they support you, they're full of shit. What they're really saying is, I love you. I'm willing to be friends with you, even though you're fucked up, in spite of the fact that you're fucked up. Yeah, it's right. It's not, oh, you're like literally, gang, most of my queer fam, like, unless that's the issues of the day, like, that's not how I think of, like, you don't think of them that way. Like, when you know a person, you just think of all the shit about their personality and what makes them unique. So it's like, it's whatever. But these people are so obsessed with your orientation and your identity. That is all you are to them. And they don't just love you. They don't just accept you, and then your personal life and your personal identity and choices are irrelevant as they are. Like, you don't judge most of your friends do in the bedroom. You don't give a shit. It's none of your goddamn business. But no, these people want to really never let you forget that they're better than you and that they're just so fucking kind. They're just willing to be in your filth. They're willing to withstand the stench of your presence. They are willing to endure the fucking grossness of your lifestyle, okay? Just so they can feel good about loving you in spite of your fucking faults, okay? When at the goddamn end of the day, we all know there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, and they are some of the most fucked up people to ever people because their entire fucking cult is literally anti-humanity. I don't know why we keep dancing around this fucking bush. I don't know why we keep circling our goddamn wagons. It is time we stare Christianity in the face and be like, yeah, it's really hard to be a good person when you're part of an anti-humanity cult. Do you see how clear that is? When you're part of a cult that thinks human nature is all sorts of fucked up, it's pretty hard to actually genuinely celebrate human nature. Go figure.
That you have had 5 husbands and the man you have now is not your husband. But Jesus loved that woman, and he even revealed who he was to her in a way that he didn't with a lot of other people. Another example is when...
And then this is why Christians are fucking assholes. Can you imagine telling a story this way? And so, yeah, I was just chilling with my one friend. You know, they've been divorced like 3 times, but yeah, I still hang out with them anyway. Yeah, and I was sitting around, I was like, dude. And then this other fuckface, he's fucking gay. But, you know, it's all good. He's all right. You know, that's my gay man right there. and then I was hanging with this guy. He's a nigga, black guy, you know. But hey, everybody's got to have a black friend in the group. This is how Christians think of people. Like they are just so wonderful because they just love us in spite of everything fucked up about us, although they're the only people constantly oppressing everything they consider to be fucked up about us. It's ridiculous.
A woman came in, and the scripture tells us she was a sinful woman, and she came in and she was kissing Jesus's feet and crying and wiping his feet with her tears. That was completely inappropriate for the culture.
Yeah, like they had 5 different genitals.
That would be inappropriate in most cultures today. But Jesus wasn't embarrassed by her display or the fact that she was a sinful woman. And then we have Jesus. Who was he hanging out with? You know, the religious leaders were accusing him because he was hanging out with the sinners and the tax collectors and the prostitutes. And so what if you get accused of endorsing sin or sexual promiscuity? Jesus didn't seem to worry about his reputation. So as a Christian, to celebrate Pride Month does not mean that you are endorsing sexual promiscuity. And if people think that, then that's up to them. But you can celebrate it for the reasons that I mentioned, for celebrating and standing with those who have been oppressed. And so one final verse that I want to read for Christians.
You cannot stand with the oppressed without calling for the complete, total, and immediate end of their oppression. There's really no 2 ways about this, Rebekah. Again, y'all need to do some reflecting. Y'all need to feel ashamed of yourselves. And then, quite frankly, you still don't need to be inviting yourself to the Pride celebrations. You need to be writing to your Congress people. You need to be dropping posts on your insurance company. You need to be sending money to pro-LGBTQ organizations. And most important, you need to start intra-proselytizing. You need to prepare your best shit for this Sunday. Again, Christians, how many, let me check the schedule. Let me check the schedule real fast. What we got going on this June, y'all? It's June. Let me see. We got 1, 2. Yep, we got 4 Sundays. The 4th, the 11th, the 18th, the 25th. Christians, I need you to prepare your 4 best sermons because you need to be in your own goddamn church every Sunday this month talking about how much you celebrate the L, the B, the G, the T, the Q, the I, the A, all that sexy and vibrant stuff. Until you are doing the work within house to clean house, y'all asses ain't invited to our house.
Christians who say, yeah, but you know, I just feel like I would be supporting sin or something. And again, this is for non-affirming Christians.
Oh, but you know the pride parties are going down at my place.
Do not believe
y'all already know what time it is.
A sin to be gay or a sin to be trans or queer or bisexual. But a consideration would come from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 16. It says, so from now on, we regard no one from a worldly point of view. Though we once regarded Christ in this way, we do so no longer. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. All this is from God, who reconciled us to himself through Christ and gave us the ministry of reconciliation, that God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting people's sins against them. And he has committed to us
yes, Kat, please put an
the
end
message
to this, Kat.
of reconciliation.
Kat, just wrap that tail.
We are therefore Christ's ambassadors,
around the throat area,
as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled
Come on, Kat,
to God.
You can do it.
So you have been called to be an ambassador for God, an ambassador of reconciliation. And that reconciliation is that God is saying
give us an eye poke
no
or something.
longer is counting people's sins against them. So we are not called to regard people from a worldly point of view. A worldly point of view would look at someone and say, oh, you know, this is wrong with you. This is wrong with you, right? But that is not what we are called to do as Christians. We are called to love people, to receive them, and to preach to them the message of reconciliation. So we are not called to regard anyone according to the flesh. We don't regard people in that way anymore. So even if, you know, being gay was a sin or being trans was a sin, you are called to bring
she's just doing this bullshit ass Jesus loves everybody. It's just this low, it's just such a low IQ, low information, the virtue signaling. Y'all already know what this is.
Reconciliation. And how can you bring a message of reconciliation to people you will not love, to people you will not support? And there is much to support for Pride Month, because again, we're talking about people who have been oppressed, severely oppressed. People who in the past, even in America, and sometimes even now, have to be worried about their life.
In the past, in America, and sometimes even now, have to be worried. This is just ignorance. This is just ignorant. What? Things are getting worse. They're getting worse. Rebekah, is she going to talk about the laws they're passing? And is she ever going to talk about who is oppressing these people? And what is their motivation? Because I'm going to tell you, the people are Christians, and their motivation, according to them, is Jesus titty Christ.
Lives. They have to fear for their lives just to express who they are.
No, Maya, I fell for the clickbait.
That's just, we should not tolerate that as Christians. So we should stand with those
and very easy to gaslight.
Are, have been oppressed. And so that's my thoughts about it. And I'd love to hear any thoughts from you. In fact, I'm going to let people join the stream in a minute, but I have to just kind of say, I don't want any atheists to join the stream.
Oh,
Okay,
my
this is a
goodness.
discussion for
Oh,
Christians.
my Lord.
So I'm really asking Christians. You can be an affirming Christian or a non-affirming Christian.
Oh,
So
again.
I welcome you
Let's
to join the
platform
stream, and I
non-affirming
will
Christians
put
during Pride Month, gang.
I'm not, by the way,
What
it's not
an
that I don't
asshole.
love atheists. Okay, it's just I don't want anybody coming on here and being like, oh, God is mean, God is bad, the Bible's bad.
I don't want to talk about the truth.
That's why, because for
Because
those
you're
who've
a
been around
fucking
my
grifter.
channel long, you know that
You're a
is what my
grifter.
channel has been about for about
Lies.
2 years.
Your
and
channel's about
so
lies.
I'm done with God is bad, God is
Lies.
mean. Okay, no, God is good, God is love. And so I welcome those who are believers in God and lovers of God.
Let's smell our Christian
to
farts together.
share their
Exactly.
thoughts. So, yeah. So feel free to join the stream. I did put the link there. And so I'd like to hear your thoughts. And, I'm just wondering if there may be some pushback from Christians who will say, yeah, but you're saying that people have the right to, or it's good that people have the right to express who they are, which assumes that a trans identity or a gay identity is inherent to the person. And it, maybe you reject that view, as some Christians do. They would say, no, this is, if you are a trans person, actually, you're just deceived about, yourself. And so,
Yeah,
they would
she's
say
the problem.
they don't want to lie.
She's the problem.
And pretend and
she's willing to lie about this issue. She's willing to lie about Christianity. She's willing to lie to Christians. She's willing to gaslight marginalized groups, and she's willing to and their allies just to look good. It's ridiculous.
The truth about you is your biology. So, there's nothing wrong with saying that God, that there are like two main biological sexes, although, not everyone.
Yes, there is something wrong with it. It's not true. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Nope. You already fucked up. Like, it's not binary. Nope. It's just not true. See, first, to understand what human nature is, you have to think about what is a human. And what is a human is a population of human beings. You guessed it. And so to understand what there primarily is in humanity, you have to look at what there primarily is in humanity, in which you're going to see a whole shit ton of variation, a whole spectrum of shit, some shit we haven't even found and figured out how it all works together yet. And that's what makes humans great. And this bitch is ding, 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 wrong again.
It's clearly into those categories. But there are people who experience severe gender dysphoria. And so what we need to ask is, Christian.
Oh, Lord. No, like, it's just, this is so difficult because this whole thing where acting like, dysphoria is inherently a part of what it means to be trans is problematic. Obviously, I'm not trying to set aside the realities of gender dysphoria, but this is especially troubling coming from Christians because, honestly, psychological, social, emotional environments play such a role in any sort of psychological or psychiatric distress. And again, to just not acknowledge the role of her group and its history, her Bible, her Bible-thumping Christians, her Bible-thumping elected officials is just horrific. And again, like, I heard Katie Montgomery make this point very beautifully, so I'll try to, rephrase it as best I can so that I'm speaking with and not for. But basically, why should dysphoria become a requirement for people to transition, and it's just murky because you can. It's that shred of truth, right? That makes these conversations and this type of rhetoric so dangerous. It's like that they find a buzzword that is a real phenomenon, but now she's gonna use it and twist it and talk about it in some fucked up ass way that is just not fucking helpful for anybody other than Christian apologists.
Is what is the best thing for them? Is the best thing, living out their lives with this extreme dysphoria, or is it healthier for them to live out their lives expressing themselves with a gender that maybe defied their biology? And
a gender that defied their biology. Just
from the testimonies that I've heard from trans people, even trans Christians, even trans ministers, they had a lot more peace when they transitioned and lived out their lives in the gender that they felt that they were in their mind. And for Christians who want to focus on the physical, well, if anybody, we should realize that the physical, there's more to life than the physical, right? There's a reality that goes beyond the physical. And so if you recognize that there's a reality that goes beyond the physical, you should be able to recognize that what's happening in someone's mind is just as real. It is as real to them as what their physical body is. So I hope that, I hope that makes sense. And I could talk about being affirming with regard to homosexuality, but I think there's some things in the chat I want to highlight here. So, and I'll kind of go back through the chat and see if there's any comments, because I don't have anyone joining the stream yet. Oh, wait. Oh, all right. Andre's joining the stream.
Oh, no, wait. I need to answer this question.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you're here.
All right. I like that. I like that shirt.
I want to just say, Bond Official said, I missed the first part. How do you celebrate Pride Month?
Yeah, good question.
Okay,
I want to hear that. Yeah.
I have a pride flag in the front of my house, a pride flag in the back of my house, and I have a sign that I made. Actually, I did this on Valentine's Day, but I'm probably going to do it again for Pride Month. But I have a rainbow.
Now, gang, think of all the fucking damage Christians are doing to the LGBTQ community, and tell us how relieved you are that Rebekah has a fucking pride flag in a rainbow flag in her background and a sign outside her house.
Sign that says LGBTQ, Jesus loves you as you are. And
again,
so
lies.
I went out and I held my sign on the street. And so I will probably be doing that again.
What a weird, crazy
Pride
cult.
Month. And yeah, so that's how I'm going to celebrate. How about you, Andre?
Oh, I went to the Pride Parade in my town with my dog.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Wow. How
Hopefully
was it?
You weren't proselytizing.
It was great. It was very, as an old gay person, I was very happy to see so much young people, and it's more about them. I mean, I've lived my life. I've fought my fights, and I'm okay with it. I don't need it that much. But for the youth, it's so important that they are accepted. And I live in Germany, so I mean, it's everything okay here. It's fine, and it's nice to see it. It's nice to celebrate. It's nice to be proud here.
Oh, good. Wow, that's wonderful. Okay, so let's see. I'm just kind of looking through the comments. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the stream? Have you been watching? Did you hear what I said before?
Yes, and I think it's very inspiring what you.
Yeah, she. Yeah, Steph, she does keep saying that.
Say, because it's about love. I mean,
as she cringes, exactly.
I think how can you not celebrate the fact that, I mean, that people that they are being oppressed for who they love are freed of it, and it's important for us as a.
And no. Again, I hate to literally rain on people's parade, but like we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. No, we're not going to do that. And Christians are so quick to do this. And I see it play out in our politics, even with, rush to victory Joe Biden and his premature ejaculations and all of his fucking political battles, right? Like, he was just so happy to declare COVID over when I was like, how about we let the medical experts tell us when it's over? Christians, when we celebrate Black History Month, we're not celebrating that racism is over and Black people are completely free now. And isn't it so great that they used to be oppressed for being Black in the past? But maybe once in a while there's an unfortunate incident here or there. But man, I'm so glad we put that racism behind us. Get the fuck out of here. People who were oppressed for who they love. First off, if that's who you think this is about, you're missing a whole lot of this, okay? But even with that, those people are still being oppressed. Like we're not gonna do this. We can celebrate people as part of supporting them in the struggle, but we are not going to fucking insult them by pretending that the struggle is in the goddamn past.
As a community, as to include, to open arms for everyone. That's what I believe it's all about. So I mean, it's open your arms and include people. Not think about why. I mean, then why is it wrong?
Like
why care?
She can't
why
see shit.
Is it so important to find the text where it says it's wrong? It's so much more important. I mean, are we Christians or what? I mean, what's our example is the guy that was always with open arms, and I can't see it in another way. It's just that's what I believe in. I believe in,
Yes,
including,
beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And so have you experienced, like, what has...
So the other thing is, I don't know what to do. Like, it's very frustrating that so many Christians just think Jesus is this go-to ace in the hole. Love, 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 love. I know it's hard to provide pushback to people who are being friendly, but we can't fall for this okie doke. Part of the disappointment a lot of us feel when we look back at our time involved in Christianity is that people got over on us with so much. They got away with so much. And all they had to do was be nice to us. All they had to do was say nice things to us, make us feel special. And then, to be honest, they could turn around and say terrible things to us and terrible things about us and make us feel like shit. But as long as they said that they were doing so out of love, as long as they smiled and hugged and, fed us a nice meal, then we had to accept that as love. And that's fucked up. What's up, Jasper? So I'm really disappointed by that.
Has been your experience in the church as a gay person?
I was raised a Catholic, and at first I think it wasn't a theme that would be discussed in church, but then there was a time when I was preparing myself to go to a seminary to join the Franciscan order, and that's a calling me. I mean, it's something that I wished I have fulfilled in my life. But then the fact that I explained that I was gay was enough for them to reject me. So I always, I mean, afterwards I felt like I don't have a place in that church. It's my temple, but I don't feel welcome.
Wow, I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's how life is. It's perhaps not perfect, but then it's not about individuals. It's the inheritance, the doctrine, the tradition of rejecting people and setting standards which no one achieves. It's our problem as a whole. I mean, I think we could all be rejected if we really stick to the truth and talk about our weird side. But then it's better to share the positive. It's so nice to be talking to you.
But again, fuck out of here. How many people can join the order after being sexually promiscuous on the heterosexual tip? And are they going to be excluded? Because if it's just about the lifestyle, if it's just about not engaging in sexual immorality, why isn't it counted? If you show up, you say, hey, I'm a gay priest, but I'm not going to, I'm gay, but like, doesn't matter because priests are celibate. So just like the straight dudes who were boinking before they came priest, now they're done. I'm done. Let's go. Because it's a fucking hate group. And I'm sorry, Andre, but you're doing the Christian version of Coonan right here. Tap dancing for butter biscuits for master. And I'm sorry, but that's all it is. Because I'm sure Andre would tell me all about the hope, meaning, and purpose if I asked him why the fuck is he still part of a group that discriminates against his own people. But this is the anti-humanity of it. And unfortunately, we have to start to see people like Andre as victims. And they've fallen victim to the happy face. They've fallen victim to the message of unconditional love. They've fallen victim to the sales pitch. He buys the sales pitch and did not do his homework. He did not read the fine print. And now he's ignoring the oppression of his people that is happening all over the world. I don't give a fuck what country's in. People always say this. What happens is they look at America on the news. They basically see Americans KKK-ifying everything. Like Americans are just so outwardly bigoted and racist and prejudiced that these European and other countries act like, oh, we don't even have that problem over here. I'm sure if we went over there and talked to the LGBT community, we would find out that they are still facing all types of discrimination, requiring all sorts of protections, requiring all sorts of resource to regain and restore equitable participation in society, and I'm almost 100% sure they're not getting it. So I'm just not with the whitewashing of any of this bullshit.
I miss you. I like you a lot.
Thank you. I like you
first
too.
Mistake.
Okay, so then what do you want Christians to know? Christians who might reject gay people and things. What do you want them to know about your love for God?
I can only say the place where my love, my relationship to God takes place. I mean, it's about love. It doesn't make sense to differentiate people on basis of their bodies or what my body is attracted to. It's something else. When I
cool, we both disagree with the Bible.
What binds me to other people
to become an atheist
in God is that we share the spark. We share something. We talked about. We had a private conversation where I could share with you those feelings. I think
show Master you one of the good ones.
It's it's the Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit that we find in each other, and how we
make everything about
manage
Christianity.
to put it to practice this. It's not as important as the fact that we feel it, that we
This is
share.
so gross. They literally give God credit for the fact that as humans, they can connect with other humans. So pathetic.
We have that in common. My God, I mean, we have so much in common. I don't see why we should find the point to say, well, my love is different, and I don't understand you just because of whom you love. I don't know. I in my life I experience my love is the same. My love for God, my love for my neighbor in God is the same. So I wish it wouldn't make a difference how I'm sexually attracted to another person. I mean, it's kind of, I'm not hurting anybody.
Now you can be executed.
I don't know. I wish it wouldn't be talked about. It's private.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you know, people, I think that they have concerns, you know, let's see. And so I want to put up one concern that was put in the stream, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. I'll share my thoughts on it, and then if you have thoughts on it, maybe you can share yours. So Taffy says, hi, Rebekah. God created man and woman in his perfect eye. This whole trans situation the world is getting into is very worrying.
I've read
that. Taffy, you know, I agree with you that God created man and woman. And, you know, but the reality that we experience in this physical realm is
just the fucking lies. First off, oh my goodness, again, it really is sad, but this is why evolution is the death knell of Christianity. Like, God didn't create us. I'm sorry, that's just a lie. It's a lie. It's not true. I know. Look, gang, I'm an evolutionary biologist, and I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like, I even tell other scientists this. I think we make a mistake. I think we need to be more honest about the fact that there's just a certain modern knowledge base now, right? The environment has changed largely due to the information available in it, and it's no longer reasonable to expect people to believe that God created people. It's just not. It's not a reasonable thing to think. God, he created us male and female. I just could not be more tired of hearing an incorrect statement. I mean, these people are just wrong. Again, they're just wrong. He created us LGBTQIA question mark. You know, me, my favorite people, I was thinking about this too. Some of my favorite people are question marks. You know, I couldn't tell you if they're lesbian or gay. I couldn't tell you if they're trans or non-binary or genderqueer or gender rejecting. You know what I mean? Like, again, people have so much variation in how they feel about all of this stuff, and who they are. And it's sort of like, I'm trying to think of the author. I can't think of the author, but there was a black intellectual wrote a book. It's called something like 40 Million Ways to Be Black or some shit like that. And the idea was that was like a rough estimate of the African American population, and the idea was to counter, you know, stereotypes and cultural understandings of what it means to be black by basically, you know, elaborating that there are as many ways to be black as there are black people. And that's the way I really see this community, that, you know, again, it's about celebrating the variation. It's about celebrating the nuances. It's about celebrating the complexity that is a human individual. So, you know, again, like, even just that sentence, God created us man and woman and is perfect. Like, no, like I'm here to shut that shit down, and we're not even gonna have this conversation until you're ready to check back into reality.
Often it's not exactly binary like that. It's not just male and female. There are people who are born intersex. There are people who are born with chromosomes that are not exactly, you know, male or female. And so just as there's a physical reality that doesn't always fit the binary male and female, there's also a mental experience that people have. And you know, so by with trans people, it's not that we're trying to deny the reality, the biological reality of male and female, but we are accommodating people who have this experience where their biology doesn't match with their mental picture of themselves. And but
you're not doing that. Number one, because you start by reifying the bigoted talking point. Well, I do agree. He made, you know, black people the sons of Ham, and the sons of Ham are to be the servants of the others. But we are talking about people who are born with darker skin, and we have to acknowledge that not everyone born with darker skin feels that it is righteous for them to be enslaved. Like, get the fuck out of here. And on top of that, what is her solution? She cannot counter the bigotry, because every time the bigots open their goddamn mouths, the first thing she has to do is agree with them. And then on top of that, what is her fucking version? She always wants us to give us the soft, biggest tent Christianity that everybody is invited to. But again, she is going to turn around and tell you that your lifestyle is fucked up. Sin is sin. She loves you, but she's not going to celebrate. She's here to celebrate pride. But again, she's not going to celebrate the drinking and the drug use and the sexual promiscuity and I'm here to celebrate, but I don't want anybody celebrating. This is why Christians are not invited to the cookout.
Address your concern, because I also have some concerns about the sudden rise of trans, especially among the youth, because traditionally this was always a small percentage of the population who were trans. And it now seems that in many countries, there's been a very dramatic rise in people who are identifying as trans. And that concerns me too, because I'm not sure that all of the people who are identifying as trans now are truly trans. That, you know, there does seem to be something going on where it's a little bit of a social contagion, where kids are kind of being guided in this direction if they are
Steph, I'm going to send you the restream
confused link. And maybe they're just feeling bad about themselves and who they are, and they are looking for a way to fix the way they feel about themselves, and they get guided onto this path of being trans. And now we're hearing all these stories of detransitioners that, you know, felt like that's what happened to them, but they weren't truly trans.
Oh, all right. Hopefully Steph will come pop over and restream in a sec, just so I can get stuff on camera. But yeah, this is craziness. Like, again, like pushing this transing of the kids talking point. Oh, I'm not anti-trans. I'm just worried about people who are gonna deconvert. Again, like as I understand it, the rate of regret for transitioning is lower than that of a knee replacement. So until Christians are concerned that God made people with organic knees, that's how he created them, right? He didn't fucking put some mud together with Adam and then be like, hang on a sec, I need to go over here and whip up some plastic or some metal, put a prosthetic in that motherfucker. Hang on, Adam, you got a little bit of old. Let me swap out your knee real quick. How come Christians aren't worried that when we do knee replacements, we're fucking up God's creation? People are literally more likely to regret having an artificial fucking knee. They don't say shit about God created us with knees that should not be replaced. What's up, Steph?
Oh, good old Lisa Loomer shows up.
Sorry, that was on mine. Go ahead.
Lisa Loomer shows up.
Who's that?
Oh, the transgender race is afflicting our daughters.
Oh, what is she doing? All right, tell us the story.
Hang on, I've got an echo going on.
Oh, you might be in Gather. Probably want to mute me. Oh, I should have muted myself in Gather. I'll do that. All right, is it better?
I don't know. No,
it's fine on my end. You're still hearing me in Gather? All right, let's mute my bot.
I've got Gather muted. So I don't
maybe
know
the
where
stream
it's coming from.
Is it come? Do you have the stream playing somewhere?
Nope.
Oh.
Well, whatever.
Well, yeah, we don't have an echo on stream.
Okay. So. Give me a second, Jay. Riff on.
Yeah, no worries.
But even if just that's happening, oh, you want to share? Go ahead.
Yeah. I would like to say I understand your point, but first of all, I mean, if we're talking about perfection, we're all different. Then are we really starting the point that say you're not feminine enough, you're not masculine enough, you're not perfect? There should be an ideal, and it's crazy. I don't think we should go that way. And if we are in a spectrum, we have to admit there are people that are on the extreme point that the way they feel and the way they express themselves wouldn't fit in those categories. But what's important is those people, not how they identify in front of everybody else, but in the mirror. And what I really, I mean, as a gay person, I have to admit, growing up, I never felt, I never understood transsexuality. I mean, in Brazil, the way it works, and there was it's kind of complicated because historically there were lots of transsexual men that ended up as prostitutes and in a very complicated situation. I wouldn't say that was something that didn't exist, and it was even seen in Brazil. But then I kind of distanced myself from it because it wasn't me. It wasn't anything that I could understand until the day I was living in Germany, and I heard from transsexual young man. He was describing his feelings as he took hormones, and as he felt his
hey, Steph, I can hear
breast hairs growing.
Can you hear me, Steph?
Yeah, I can hear you. I've got an, I don't know why there seems to be an echo on my end, but there you go.
You don't have my stream on YouTube open
I don't
somewhere?
have anything other than the restream tab open on my computer. So,
Oh.
no idea. And I don't have running off of direct headphones and no speaker or anything. So it's kind of weird.
It is weird.
Anyway,
maybe I'm putting it back. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. That should get rid of it. Did that get rid of it?
Yes, it got rid of it.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know what's the kids today, they're all getting transed, and I don't know. It's rapid onset gender disorder that Lisa Loomer popularized in her discredited story that came out as just utter garbage.
Yeah, it's and this is like what's frustrating is that there's this sort of paper thin veneer of let's talk about how Christians can celebrate Pride Month. No effort meaningfully to talk about the issue with vis-a-vis Christianity and this whole movement to begin with. And then now, while we're at it, let's run out the conservative bigoted talking points while we're here, right? So this is just to me a bad faith effort from start to finish.
Yeah. Anyway, that was when she brought that up, it was like, oh well, I'm not an apologist, but I'm just going to do some apologetics. I'm not a bigot, but I'm just going to quote bigoted studies and bigoted books and play into the myths that people keep rolling out about trans people. And I'm not, it's just, come on.
Yeah, it's utter garbage. What?
And she's an utter coward, not letting people without faith, people who don't have a God belief, or people who aren't Christians get on her channel and talk to her about this stuff, because this is not a matter of belief. It betrays her own prejudice that only Christians, only theists can talk about human rights. It's the presuppositionalist argument that she's not using it, but it's a similar thing. It's like, well, you don't have a ground of morality, so you can't talk to these issues. When we're talking about issues of equality, of this and that and the other thing, in other words, pride is only good for us. Pride's only good for us, and we're just compassionate people who'll sit with you. But you won't sit with us. You won't show up at a pride parade. You won't do anything that actually fucking matters.
Right.
You'll sit there and go, oh, isn't it a shame? Isn't it a goddamn shame what that evil Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida? And you won't do anything about it.
Right.
You won't do a fucking thing about it. You'll just sit there and cluck your goddamn tongue and do nothing.
But you will express concern about transing the kids and detransition. Right.
It's all garbage.
Great. Thanks for showing up to this fucking celebration, Rebekah. We're so glad you're here. Like, get the fuck out of here. Hang on, fuck these people for a second. Steph, what are you looking forward to this month? And I have to say this, I haven't been thinking about Pride Month. What I've been thinking about for you is that it's fucking sailing season.
That's
and
exactly
racing
right.
season in particular. And you're in a great mood when you win, in a shitty mood when you lose, and that's how I like my competitors. So
that's right.
Is there anything else you're looking forward to this month?
Well, last night we had a first and a fifth. That wasn't very, the first was good. The fifth was shitty way to end the evening, but whatever. I'm looking forward to my club's annual regatta on Pride Day here in Portland, and won that once, and it was kind of the first Pride March in Portland, and I made a big deal out of it, and everybody was supportive, and that was really good. So, you know, it's
That's fantastic.
It's just it's a time to it's just a time to be visible.
I hope it's a time to meet each other too, right? I hope it's just a time to find like-minded people and make some new friends and be around people who care and have fun. I've actually never been to a pride parade, and I want to go. I really do. I don't know if I'm parade ready, but I haven't been to any parade honestly since I was a kid. I used to march in a parade with my dad, in New Jersey once in a while, but yeah, haven't been to parade in a long time. Yeah, but we'll definitely also have a party. I'll make sure we have another fun event. And I want to do a cookout too. So, yeah, I know now, and I want to see. I don't know what's going on. I actually imagine there's probably one in the area that's not too far. If not, I know there's probably one in Detroit or Ann Arbor. Yeah. Oh, Steph, did you fire up your stream? Great. All right, let's roll some more of this tape. Hell no, I'm not afraid to dress up. All right, hang on a sec. You guys are not getting... Oh, I have to send them here. All right, let me figure out. I see what's going on. I can't send them there and then send it to... That's why Stephanie was getting an echo, I think. Okay, hang on a sec. Let me see what I can do about that. Use that one. It's a little weird because then it's like coming. Oh, it's coming out and it's coming back in. All right, let me do this. Let me send this out there. All right, that should be better.
That fulfillment of seeing yourself. I mean, feeling in the right body. And actually, Rebekah, I've heard many points of view about that discussion, but I have a feeling. I followed for some years. There are lots of testimonies of transsexual people talking about dysphoria and how great it was to transition, and that impressed me a lot. I can understand that it's a very complicated thing. I mean, we are complicated, and if we start to hear to try to be happy, to create a path in a world where there wasn't one, there'll be mistakes, there'll be things that won't go perfectly, but I don't think it's reason enough to start questioning the identity of people that I think the majority of people that would go that way is because they feel it inside. It's not. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to put that much weight on what could be go wrong. I think it's a lot more important that the majority of people that would identify as trans, they know what they're talking about. They're talking about themselves. It's not what
right.
Yeah.
Well, and this is, I thought this comment kind of goes along with what you're saying. Titan Uranus says it has also been much. Uh-oh. My internet might be going bad. Okay. It must be it has also been a much higher number than dared admit it because they would be castrated, imprisoned, and killed in the US through the 1950s. Pretending there are more now is a denial of horror.
Titan Uranus always coming through with boss level commentary, and I don't know how Titan Uranus still gets by Rebekah's filter. I think Titan is I don't know. It just is what it is. But I always love Titan's comments. But yeah, this is a big part of the problem, and to be honest, it's still a huge part of the problem because when I was growing up, wasn't a particularly safe time to come out as gay or trans or any of that good stuff, and I still think that the hurdles that you see presented to you, the legal efforts, look, hate, gang, I wish I could really put in words the effect having a marked identity has on you, but when you have an identity that the world hates, you see the messaging, and I just think we're still getting a gross underestimate of how many people in our population this really applies to, because it's still not safe. It's still not okay. It's still too hard. And that's why I say I'm afraid of, who's not trans, right? I'm afraid of who we haven't identified on the LGBTQ spectrum, and that's why, because I feel like in my heart, like there has to be a significant number of there's too many people that are still in the closet, and there are people who absolutely know that they should transition, and they're not going to because of all this bullshit.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if as things become more and more restrictive, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see a decrease in the number of people who do transition, because one of the major faults of the rapid onset gender dysphoria thesis was it's become more socially acceptable. It's become more, when was the transgender tipping point in the cover of Time magazine? 2015. And since, it's been nothing more than a ramping up of anti-trans rhetoric to the point that where we're at now, with state after state after state and various governments doing nasty things,
And honestly,
as regards trans people. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see a decrease in the number of people that are willing and able to.
Also, Stephanie, trans is COVID right now. I have not seen this level of everyday coverage of an issue affecting us since the pandemic. Right? It's every single day there's something else about this issue, and it's scary. I'm like it gets more coverage these days than the freaking war. It's like, oh, by the way, there's a war, but let's talk about Target. And did you hear that conservatives are now trying to cancel Chick-fil-A? And I literally, it's crazy.
Really stupid.
It's crazy the amount of coverage that this issue, and it forces it, right? Because just like during the pandemic, when the people start with the denials, with the misinformation, with the gaslighting, well, you can't just not respond. And so it's just this runaway train we're all on now, right? And I don't know how to get off of it, because that seems like actually the only thing you're not supposed to do somehow. I don't know. That's the part that baffles me. But it is worth discussing the outsized coverage, because it's just, to me, that's an issue in and of itself now. I don't even know if we have a path. Because see, the most issues like that, there's something with COVID. There's supposed to be a benchmark, right? And you see them rush towards it, where they could say the pandemic's over, drop the mask. Yeah, okay, the numbers are still there, but we've reached that point where we can move on and talk about other things. Wars end. Debt ceiling deals get done. What the fuck are we doing about this? I mean,
Jay, on a deeper level, as long as gayness, as long as being lesbian, as long as being bisexual, as long as being trans is viewed as a malady to be cured, in the same sense as COVID is. Like, as long as we're medicalized, as long as we're perceived as a disease on the human body and the body politic, as long as people are using the phrase elimination,
yes, yeah,
in major political venues, as long as we are perceived as vermin to be exterminated,
yeah,
I really hesitate to say, oh, it's like COVID now, because it's not like COVID now.
I just meant in the way that it's what you hear in the coverage every day.
Well, because there's a reason for that.
But yeah, you're right. No, I'm sorry.
They want it to be viewed that way. They want it to be viewed that way. They want it to be.
You're 100%.
They want Target not to have gay trans merchandise or make any reference to it. Because why? Because it will infect our daughters.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm feeling like it is like racism and misogyny, where we need to just prepare for the fact that this is going to be on the table every day forever, right? Because their prejudice, the prejudice isn't going anywhere. The efforts, so it would almost, the worst thing we could do now would be whatever the equivalent to the colorblind society movement was, right? Where we put the conversation on the back burner, we act like we don't see it, and then we're not starting to have the conversation again until far, far too much damage has been done. But yeah, I appreciate that stuff. I guess for me, like, it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there's a certain. Yeah, I don't know. Things are escalating, right? And so, to be honest, I think it's appropriate for our alarm to escalate, because things are really scary right now. Which is why I find it so problematic that Christians are going to try to join in on the celebration of Pride Month.
Well, yeah, I mean, I Pride is, you get Christians who want to join in the celebration of Pride Month had better do something more than just put up a rainbow flag or the inclusive flag or something like that. They should do more than that. They shouldn't do what Rebekah's doing, which is to say, repeating these pathologizing talking points.
Right.
I mean, that's the exact antithesis of, she says she's doing this out of Christian love, and yet she's there repeating this nonsense.
Yes.
You can't have it both ways. We're either people or we're not. And, sorry, Rebekah, you can't do it like that.
Yeah. And
you can't just sit there and be namby-pamby. Oh, God just loves everyone in his family, and we're all siblings and brothers and sisters in the eyes of Jeebus. You can't do that bullshit if you're sitting there saying, but I have concerns.
Right. 100%. All right, Steph, let's see what else they got for us.
And again, I think this is a reason for Christians to celebrate Pride Month, because we are celebrating the fact that people no longer have to hide, that people no longer have to just fear for their lives. I mean, this is something, there's a history there that we should be ashamed of. And even that some Christians have participated in, of disdaining gay and trans people. And so, you know, it is the least that we can do to show our repentance for showing such disdain, to show solidarity and celebrate Pride Month.
Thank you. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Also, gang, Stephanie's live. Make sure you give her a follow, and the link is down in the description. Make sure you give her a like and a sub. Appreciate it.
So I'm looking to see if, and Titan Uranus also said, detransitioners are a tiny minority, and more than half detransition due to social pressure. Many retransition again later. What you said is literal misinformation. Okay, well, thank you for sharing your perspective. I still...
Dang, I have the best mods on the world. I don't know how I got to have such incredible mods and a literally a whole gang of them. And, you know, people get the wrench now when they get the wrench. But Titan Uranus is one person I'm actually, like, trying to recruit, you know?
Titan Uranus, best mod ever.
Like, yeah, I'm like, you know, our team doesn't have any weaknesses, but we could always use a couple other strong players. You know what I mean? Like, Titan's great.
I'll have the concern, because I have listened to quite a lot of detransition stories, but it doesn't mean that I fully support trans people, and I believe that, you know, people who are identifying as trans, like, I'm gonna believe them. I'm not gonna say, no, you're not really trans.
You just fucking did.
But at the same time, I'm like,
exactly.
I am concerned that there is something else that may be going on in some cases.
What again? This is the out, right? The both sides of your talking out of both sides of your mouth, and this to me is the most dangerous form of Christianity. It's the Christianity that doesn't stand for anything. It is so determined to just be a blank canvas of projection about this vanilla love for everybody, and it's awful. It's awful because it allows people to overlook the indoctrination that's right in front of their face. This is just very difficult to watch.
She literally, when I joined the stream, just before I joined the stream, and when I first started watching this, she literally said that I'm not really sure that all of these new people who are saying they're trans are actually trans. So you want to be the judge of that, lady? And yet you're sitting here saying, oh, well, no, I believe everybody who says they're trans. But you don't. You fucking well don't, because you fucking well just said, I don't believe. This coterie of people are trans.
And I accept that there's trans people out there, but I do have some other concerns if I hear that. But then you're not understanding that there's trans people out there, because if you understand there's trans people out there, there's nothing else to be concerned about. I mean, this is because she can't. She's very well aware of the bigotries. Gang, I lost interest in Rebekah Davis, but this is why. This isn't going anywhere. You're just running around in circles, tail chasing. This is all of Rebekah Davis' stream is. Rebekah
Bond
chasing her
official
tail.
says, I like Andre. Good. So Now, and now B.S. Lewis put this comment. He says, Bread of Life, why are you lax on the man-woman portion of Jesus's words, but not the one-and-one portion regarding polygamy? Well, actually, you know, there's, I think it's, what do I want to say to this? I would actually like to turn this around and say, Christians who are strongly opposed to gay marriage, consider that throughout the Old Testament, God never said anything about polygamy. God never told people that you can't have more than one wife. And some people had many
Sarah,
wives,
Hagar, yeah,
and
okay.
we still regarded them as men of God. David had a ridiculous number of wives. No Christian today would ever tolerate a man having that many wives, but we read David's words and we say, this is scripture. And we read David's words and we say, this is a man of God. Now, if we can look at David as a man of God, a man who clearly was not anywhere close to God's ideal, right, with regard to his sexuality, he was nowhere close to being God's ideal. Well, then, you know, why can't you look at a gay married couple living in a covenanted bond for life, and who, I mean, they're committed to each other in love and faithfulness? Why can't you look at that gay married couple and say, God, these are people of God? So that's what I would say to that. And but why am I lax on the man-woman portion of Jesus' words, but not the one-on-one portion? Well, I am lax, actually, because I don't believe in polygamy. I don't support polygamy. But, you know, there are Christians in the world who have more than one wife. And I'm not going to be the one to go to them and say, you need to get rid of these wives.
As long as you believe in Jesus, it just doesn't
they
matter.
may have been, that's how they were raised. Maybe they became a Christian after they had all those wives. So am I now going to tell them
Warren Jeffs is A-okay with Rebekah.
Which wife gets kicked out? You know, so there are Christians in the world who have more than one wife, and I'm not saying anything to them about that.
She doesn't take a stance about anything.
Yeah, you know, how do you feel about misogyny, Rebekah? I don't know.
Well, what are your other thoughts, Andre?
I'm very happy about you. I mean, I'm thankful that you doing that stream. I think it's very graceful of you. Thank you so much for your support as a gay person. I mean, I do believe we still have to change that traditional opinion that it still exists a very big resistance to gay young people as they are growing up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's about their parents having a place in their heart for accepting, for understanding that.
Oh my goodness!
And all the.
We might need justice for Maya. This is perfect. This is perfect. Trump has had a lot of wives. Christians don't care about what people do, just what they're willing to do for them. That is putting it so well. Unbelievable.
Coming out process to go well. And I think mainly in America, perhaps, the church plays such an important role. And
there it is, Kata.
It's important to discuss it, to explain what's going on, to reach out for those people. That's what I said about youth and the Pride Parade here in Germany. It was great.
And Andre, like, I mean, this is just, I feel like I am watching somebody who was told, yeah, you know, this group wouldn't let me play on their basketball team because I was black, but I still support this group. This narrative about the all-consuming love of Jesus is again putting people in a place where they are so emotionally offset by all of this that they're not able to stick up for themselves. They're literally not able to recognize this group is not for people like me. I don't need this. I don't belong here. I can do better. Yes, I can even do better all by myself. And again, it's like I didn't see it either, right? Like, again, I really feel like a great moral failing of mine is not leaving Christianity because of its bigotry towards LGBTQ people. That one issue alone is enough to leave Christianity because it makes you part of a hate group. But it's even more painful to watch people with that identity who just haven't been able to break free of it. You know, Andre seems like a perfectly reasonable guy, aside from his faith. It just would be nice if he brought that perspective to the side that's trying to get rid of this religious nonsense. And it's the same thing. It's the same way I feel about Black Christians. Like, they're just carrying water for the other side.
And young people celebrating themselves. That's all about it. I wish them not to suffer through the things I mean that my generation went through. That doesn't have to happen anymore.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, I really do feel for Christians. And if there's any, you know, people who have been raised in a very conservative Christian church, and maybe you've been afraid to tell anyone that you're gay or afraid to tell anyone that you're trans, you know, there are Christian organizations that can help you. There's a beautiful organization called the Reformation Project, and it is for reforming the church, to help the church to become affirming. And they are evangelical Christians. They're very biblically based. So it is not, you know, going away from traditional Christianity. It's just reconsidering the position that traditional Christianity has had with regard to gay people. So, you know, there are, if, you know, any gay Christians who are still in the closet happen to be watching this, then please consider going and, you know, looking at the Reformation Project. And there's people who have written books, you know, God and the Gay Christian by Matthew Vines. Justin Lee wrote Torn. There's lots of Christians who've had the experience that you're having. I just listened to beautiful testimony from...
The United Methodist Church is swiftly becoming disunited right now. It's getting a messy divorce. Congregations all across the country are petitioning to separate from the United Methodist Church on the basis of a fairly mild endorsement of love the sin, love the sinner, hate the sin sort of approach to this whole thing. There are affirming congregations. There's still in the discipline of the United Methodist Church at the moment is you can't celebrate gay marriage in a church or have any, you know, you can't have your reception there. There are, in fact, affirming congregations. There's a pastor in Florida who consecrated a gay marriage within the Methodist Church. And that's changing within the United Methodist Church. But the congregation, there's a slew of congregations that are not even willing to put up with even the mildest affirmation of gay life, of gay humanity, of being full and total participants in the story of humanity. So, you know, so in the immortal words of Uncle Bobby, Rebekah, go fuck yourself. You know, you're not paying attention to what's happening in the church. What's happening in Uganda? Gay people are being put to death. What's happening in Florida? Trans people are being forced. Adult trans people can't get their fucking medication. So they're being forced to go through an early menopause.
Wow.
They're not there, and trans children can't get any treatment whatsoever, any kind of affirming treatment whatsoever in one of the most populous states in the nation. So, Rebekah, kindly, if you're gonna be spouting this bullshit about how you are personally supporting, then fucking show me how.
Right.
Don't just sit there and mouth these pleasantries. I do know people, religious people, very religious people, some of them in my family, who are on the front lines, who are speaking out and are doing things to support gay people, to support trans people, to support their fucking trans aunt. And so, you know, I know that there are Christians out there who break with the faith,
right,
or at least rejigger or reinterpret the faith to be inclusive of people just simply trying to live their lives as human beings. So, but Rebekah ain't one of them, and her little show on YouTube with her little flag there ain't cutting the mustard for me. You either get out and speak firmly about the fact that trans people and gay people are fully human. They are not a disease. They are not something that you need to be concerned about when you see more people coming out, because society is more and more recognizing of the fullness and uniqueness and beauty of their humanity. You don't get to sit there and question that stuff at the same time you're waving a pride flag. You know,
absolutely.
That is fucking hypocrisy.
Garbage. Absolute
it's fucking
garbage.
Hypocrisy, and it's basically all you're doing here is making yourself feel good when you don't deserve it.
Yes, I agree, and that's the hunt, and that's the goal of this. And she won't take a stand, because again, even on her best day, her thing is all of this is like, she even said this, being homosexual, and maybe she said something about being trans isn't a sin, but acting on it, right, but then it's this mental gymnastics of, you know, if you were a gay or trans person in a vacuum in your room by yourself, where it didn't involve, you know, transing or being gay in relationship to another human being, then that'd be fine. Like, it's absurd. And they even I wanted to touch on even what you talked about at the beginning, because for those of us that are former believers, just think about, you know, for somebody like Andre, you know, you face the devastation of being rejected in your effort to become part of the priesthood, but then you set that aside. You say, yeah, they wouldn't let me join the priesthood because I'm gay, but, you know, I'm going to stick this Christian thing out. And then literally you fall in love, decide you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, and they deny you a church wedding, which sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but think about people who really wanted to get married their whole life, and they've known that most of their life. They've fantasized about what? Having a church wedding and having their church community there to celebrate their relationship and all this stuff. And it's like, no, you got to go to the catering hall for the, you know, outsiders or whatever, because we can't actually authorize your, you know, ceremony here or whatever. It's just it's the small slights like that are just deeply hurtful, the type of thing people never really quite forget or get over.
Yeah, and you know, and the church is actively saying, well, homosexuality, transgenderism, which is not a thing, is a threat to the family. While meanwhile, they are taking away from gay people, trans people, the ability to belong to the human family and
Mm-hmm.
to raise their families within the culture, within their
Right.
culture. You're not part of our culture. Go away.
Right.
You know, we want to eradicate you and your lifestyle and your family and your whole friggin' thing. So
Right.
how you've got a lot of goddamn nerve saying that we are trying to destroy the family when you won't let us have that privilege.
Mm.
You won't let us be a part of your family. You won't let us have families of our own, even if they're intentional. You're jiggering the laws to break up our family. You're jiggering the laws to break up us as part of the human family. We're just people who experience our human life differently than you do. And you're just so stuck on yourselves and your little Jesus guy and your little
Yes,
whatever.
Your little Jesus guy.
And your little whatever.
Right.
That you can't see beyond your own self and you can't show any empathy whatsoever.
I'm at a place with these people where I don't know if Jesus leads to their bigotries or their bigotries lead them to Jesus, but you know, they're becoming one and the same at this point for me. Because it's hard to think of a non-prejudicial reason why these people hang on to these ideology, right? At the end of the day, their whole ideology is about them being special, them being chosen, them being better, them getting to live forever. And the sidecar to all of that is sort of the named oppressions of, you know, racism, homophobia, misogyny, and we go on down the list of historic social atrocities. It's just, you know, it seems like the cruelty is the point, right? And that's why it's hard to tell where the faith starts and stops vis-a-vis the bigotry. All part of the same fucked up ass package.
The guy,
we are almost done with this
shit. He had a band called Tim Be Told, and actually I think he still does. Tim Be Told. And he was raised in a conservative Christian environment, and for a long time he never admitted to anyone that he was gay. He was celibate as a Christian for many years, and when he finally came out as gay, his church had a major problem with that, and it was just it was a very hard time. But I'm thankful he's still a Christian. He still loves the Lord, and so there's many Christians who have been through what he's gone through. So you're not alone.
Betty's not going to that church anymore, though, hon.
And it counts. You know, your stream counts to stand up, to go there, to carry the flag. It's so important. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you.
No,
I've said to you, I feel like I'm a sheep of your flock. I like to be here. I like your channel. I really like what you do.
Thank
I
you,
like
Andre. Well, I like you too, and I think you're a great example of what Christian love looks like, because it's clear to me you have the love of God in your heart for people, and I hope that Christians who are watching this, who may be non-affirming, will see the Holy Spirit working in your life and reconsider their thoughts on this. But I think it is a really tough topic to wrestle with. But anyway, I hope that I've given Christians, non-affirming Christians, some good reasons to support Pride Month. And thank you for coming on, Andre. This has been great. And I guess we can kind of end the stream with just
yes.
That's
why I
thanks everyone for being here.
Wave the fucking flag.
Awful. Just one last insult before we go. It's kind of nauseating watching an evangelical Christian wave a pride flag. It's pretty triggering. Yeah.
It's just, You say what you say with a great big smile, and then you say these other awful things that just betray a complete misunderstanding of what any of this is all about. And it's a nice little gloss, and it's just it's kind of like corporate pride, sort of like I can get away with this and show I'm not one of the horrible people that wants you to be exterminated. I just don't want to see so many of you, like, fuck you, lady.
Right.
Give me a break.
And really, she just feeds into that mindset of demonizing this. She reminds me of the type of Christians who I literally feel treat the issue as though having a child who turns out to be LGBTQ is the worst thing that can happen ... to them, right? And to me, there's just she's not ready to have that conversation. And like you said, that's troubling about not bringing on people who don't share her faith, because people who don't share her faith are going to be quick to point out that people of her faith are the goddamn problem. Again, they're the reason we have to have a Pride Month, is because we have to remind people that we support them and love them in spite of the fact of the oppression and struggle that they're enduring at the hands mostly of Christians in our country. But yeah, Steph, it's game time. We're late to the game. We got into this thing. Somebody sent it to me, so I decided to address this because it's just ridiculousness off the top. But you got any concluding thoughts here, Steph?
Not really. I think I've said everything I feel need to be said about Rebekah. I'm glad I caught it, because it is just holy shit. Really. I appreciate that she's not a fully hostile person, towards people, but she's not really. She just doesn't get it,
right?
And she associates, the people she associates with, as far as I can tell, are hostile. Actually hostile towards gay people, towards, and that's not helpful either, because she's all too willing to agree with, I agree with this sentiment with people who think that we're a problem in some way or another. So that's, it's just not, it's not support. And it it gives the illusion of the two-sidedness of the whole thing. And when there aren't two sides to this, you're either thinking of us as fully human, deserving of everything you have, marriage, medical care, all of these things. You can't go halfway on this kind of drill and say, and set yourself up as an arbiter as to who is and who is not genuinely trans, or who is not genuinely, this, that, or the other thing. It's like, you can have your opinions, but keep them to your fucking self and don't legislate it.
Right. And I don't think she's willing to lift a finger to work against that.
Right.
And it's a problem. But you did make a good point. It is good that she's not advocating outright for the oppression of the LGBT community, but it's problematic that she's basically asking them to sit down with the people who are. And again, even on her best day, she wants to tell them that she accepts them, but then have the conversation about sin and lifestyle and it's not going. So she's representing a spectrum, and all of the spectrum is on the wrong side of problematic. Yeah.
We're not broken.
Right.
We don't need to be fixed. We might have troubles.
Right.
And the troubles need to be addressed. But we're not broken as people. We don't need fixing.
Right. And you don't need to be told that. You certainly don't need to be told, and this is why it's a catch-22, because you don't need to be. Sorry, this is why it's fucked up on both sides, because you don't need to be told that you're broken because you're LGBTQ. Right. But then even if she were to set that particular problem aside, she'd want to basically tell you you're broken as a human being, just like she is, right? So then we need to get into that, exactly. And you don't need that either.
Exactly.
So there's really nothing for your benefit here.
There's no way out of it from the point of view of Christianity that views all of humankind to be broken from the get, right?
Right.
Because Adam's old lady ate an apple at the behest of a talking snake. You're gonna believe that, and that's why humanity's fucked up. Then
And this is why privilege and hierarchy come into play here, because I literally feel, and I joke about it, but it is a genuine feeling that sometimes it feels like they're privileged enough that, hey, a little recreational persecution from time to time, might be acceptable. Like, hey, don't get too high on yourself. Your shit stinks too. You're a little broken. You're not the bee's knees. Okay, that might be helpful if you're maybe at the top of the hierarchy and everything just seems to be a little bit too good. But people who are marginalized in any way, shape, or form don't need help feeling marginalized. We don't. You're not benefiting us and telling us we're fucked up. Like, I don't need you to tell me, well, I'm not necessarily fucked up because I'm black, but I have a kind of being born as a human being problem that really needs to be taken care of. Like, it's just not like you're not helping. So yeah, I just the whole thing again, like the idea of having a Lord and Master, it's all really fucked up. And I just think with the conversations that we're trying to have, especially around intersectionality, it's really hard to advocate that people need this message. I don't see that. But yeah, let's go watch some basketball. Fuck this shit.
This is garbage. Let's have some fun.
Let's go have some fun. Gang, love you. Appreciate everybody coming through. We'll see you next time. Have some fun, and I don't know, stop being a Christian.
And listen to me, I'm sick of it. I'm taking the gloves off. You quit preaching heresy.
As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson.
I don't believe for 1 second that I am the only one smart enough to pick up the Bible and figure out that we're not supposed to mourn when homosexuals die.
One of these lives has a future, and one of them does not.
So what? So what?
So let's just do a quick check. Let's make sure that none of our Bibles have been tampered with.
I just take pleasure in their death. God has darkened their heart and blinded their eyes. Look, if God darkens your heart and blinds your eyes, you can't believe. You can't believe. Washing our feet in the blood of the wicked in the New Testament. I'm starting to just realize the uncomfortable truth. Who here really struggles hard to be a homo? I mean, it's really hard. And you know what? These people are going to be burning in hell for all eternity. The victory is theirs. It's not ours. They've already won. We've already lost. It's already been written. We've already read the last chapter. And we know